Started. Welcome, everyone. We are so excited tonight on our team Zoom call that we have Jenn Hawkins. She's one of our fearless leaders in our upline, and she is going to talk to us tonight about just getting back to the basics. She has a whole new series on YouTube that will, make sure everybody gets the links to that too, so we can share that with everybody. But we are thrilled to have you on tonight, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, guys, thanks so much for having me on. I'm always honored to share. I can't do these every single night of the week, but I'm always honored to kind of connect with some of you, even this virtually, so I appreciate you asking me. I am going to talk about the basics, but the reason why I want to talk about the basics is because some people will come to me and say, okay, how do I get momentum? My team seems to be kind of stalled. I've never had momentum. How do I get it? How do I keep it? All of that stuff. So it really comes back down to the basics. And so that's what I really want to talk about tonight. Because momentum, you can feasibly get to gold on your own. I mean, you could sign 20 people, mixture of people that are maybe work in the business a little bit, having customers, and then wholesalers. I mean, you could do gold on your own. Senior gold, you probably need a little bit of help there. But even past senior gold, to get all the way to the top, you have to have a team with momentum. So that's what it's really what I want to talk about tonight with the basics. So it starts with your why. I mean, that's the first thing I want to talk about. I mean, we talk about your why all the time, and don't totally tune me out here, but because then you're probably like, oh yeah, your why. I hear it all the time. But you should remember, what was it that originally got you into the business? And maybe so the products is another why. I want to get healthy. I want to lose some weight. I want to get off some medications. But you are working this business for a reason outside of just your own health. And what is that? Go back to that and let it be bigger than what it was when you started, and always remember it. Keep it visible, pin it up. I want to read a little section here. Millionaire by Halftime is one of my absolute new favorite books, and so I'm going to be reading a little bit from that tonight. I love this. He says, what makes the day-to-day grind, and we're going to talk about the day-to-day grind, but what makes the day-to-day grind more enjoyable is keeping the end in mind. If the vision is clear, the price is easy. So if you keep your why, keep your goal, keep the end goal, your dream in mind, then the day-to-day tasks, they're not so bad. You're like, I know why I'm doing this, so I am in it to win it. Okay, so your why. And then goals. So your goals are different than your why. Your why obviously could be, I want to do this for my family. I want to do this to give my family some freedom. I want to do this so I have more freedom to spend time with my family. Your goal could be, I want to be Emerald by July 31st, 2016. I want to be Emerald by July 31st, 2017. I want to be Diamond by July 31st, 2017. That's a goal. That's a long-term goal, or it could be a short-term goal if you're going for this July or whatever that looks like. So you need long-term goals and short-term goals, and you've got to write them down. I'm not going to go into the whole goal setting because there's a lot out there on that with the SMART goals and making them time-bound and achievable and all of that. But about goals, I want you to go back to making that dream board. Is it put Emerald by whatever that date is? Is it by the end of the year? What are those goals? And then so you have long-term goals and short-term goals. But I think also people need to have daily goals. And I'm a big list person. I don't know if you guys like to make lists. The most joy I get in my day, other than from my family, is not really, it's not the most joy, but who loves to cross things off their list? I know that you do, because you're probably there's a lot of you type A out there, watching and listening. So make your daily goals, and have that list, have that to-do list. You've got to have a plan. So that takes me into kind of my next thing, is a plan of action to reach those goals. In my new training series, I talk about this plan of action must match and align with your goals. If you have aggressive goals, you've got to have an aggressive plan of action. So what does that look like? You could have some goals like, I just want to make $500 a month. Well, maybe your action plan isn't quite as aggressive as someone who's like, I want to be Emerald this year. So I'm going to go back. I want to read another section from Millionaire by Halftime to start kind of this action part that I want to talk about. To be successful requires action. Action usually means a lot of hard work for an extended period, but it is worth it. Hard work is the basic building block of success. Without hard work, everything else is pointless. You start with dreams and then set goals. However, before any success can be realized, you must add lots of hard work. So that is the day in and day out. That's the daily grind that whenever later on he says, what makes the day-to-day grind more enjoyable is keeping the end in mind. So there is a day-to-day grind about this. Now, does it need to be 8 hours a day? No. Does it need to be 4 hours a day? No. It can be whatever you can put towards it. If it is a half an hour a day, great, fine. But you have to make the most out of that 30 minutes a day. And that action plan needs to, the top priority of your action plan must be income producing activity. So if you have 30 minutes a day and you spend 30 minutes a day scrolling on Facebook and commenting on Facebook threads and getting caught up into messaging with your sidelines, that's not income producing. Take your time, 15 minutes a day, message new people about Plexus, follow up, get a post out there. There's really, you could work your business with income producing activity in as short as 15 minutes a day by really hammering down and focusing on that. So creating your Frank's list is a super, there'll be some time getting it set up, creating your list, and then working that list within your 15 minutes a day. Following up, fortune's in the follow-up, you guys. We hear it all the time, and the sales statistics that go around that most people stop after the first no, and the actual sales are are made like on the fourth or fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth follow-up. So follow-up is so essential to our business. Connecting, and I have here connecting to people's hearts when you share. I'm not really, I'm really big on connecting to people's heart, and whenever I am going to share Plexus with them, first leading with the relationship and knowing what's going on in their life enough to know how to connect to their heart. So knowing what they need, is a couple extra $100, would that be life-changing for them? Do they have anxiety and getting off anxiety meds? Would that be amazing for them? Do they have migraines and debilitating where they can barely function? You need to know these things about them to know what stories to share to connect to their heart. So go back in your income producing activity and really aim to connect to the people you're reaching out to, connect to their heart. Expanding your network. You've got your plan of daily activity, but also be thinking, how can I get out there and meet new people? Is it a Bible study? Is it a hobby club? Is it a running club? What are you interested in? And then go seek out people that have the same interests and build some new relationships that have that trust. And in the right time, you lead with the relationship, and in the right time, you can introduce Plexus. Okay. So then the next thing I want to go to is say wash, rinse, and repeat. That's consistency. The thing about consistency is the lack of consistency sends the exact opposite message that you want to send to your audience. So when you are working a little bit and then you're totally gone for a week or two and then you come back, your audience is not taking you seriously. They don't think that you're taking it seriously, so they're not taking you seriously. They think it's just a fad. They don't think that you're really passionate about it. So consistency is so important to keep that presence in front of your audience, and consistently work the business, consistently do the income producing activity. Everything that we teach in this is consistency, that you do all of it with consistency. You've heard that you can work this business part-time or full-time, but you cannot work it sometimes, not just every once in a while. It doesn't work that way. Okay, belief, that's next. I am so big on building belief with my brand new ambassadors right in the beginning, because some new ambassadors, they come in, maybe they've been a customer and they have a really great story. Well, so they already have some belief in the products and they're excited and they're confident in sharing what we have to offer. But a lot of ambassadors, they may not have that belief yet. So it's so important to build belief in them with what they have to offer people is so, so valuable. We have hope and happiness and health to offer people. And so they have to believe that. And how do you instill that in someone? You expose them to what is actually happening in people's lives. So the homework assignment that I give out to my new ambassadors right away is to listen to one opportunity call a day and watch one diamond documentary a day. You could get through the diamond documentaries fairly quickly. There's a lot more opportunity calls out there because they've been weekly for quite some time. But that will build belief in the products and the opportunity. And they'll say, if they can do it, I can do it. They've done it. Why not me? This can happen for me too. That belief that they have, when they have it, they will have the boldness to share. They will share with confidence and know that they are bringing something super valuable to their audience. So belief in self. One of the biggest things that we see is a mind block of they don't believe they can do it. So this comes from personal development. And this brings me to my next basic is personal development. Network marketing is really personal development with a compensation plan. Who you are when you start this journey is so different from who you will be in the middle and at the end. I am a completely, not different in the sense of I am still me, but I'm a better version of who I was when I started this journey, because this journey will stretch you and grow you and challenge you, and all of that makes you a better version of you. And that is your goal. Always be learning and growing and being a better version of yourself. So there's a lot of books out there with personal development, but the two that right now are my favorites. I'm just going to kind of talk about those. Millionaire by Halftime, I already said, and I'm maybe read a little bit more out of here. Millionaire by Halftime is so good, and everybody that I'm giving it to are just raving about it. So many of you probably already read it, or you probably already have it. So good for you. But those of you who haven't, this should be really at the top of your list. The other one, and I don't have a hard copy because I listened to it on audio, super, super easy audio to listen to. It's 25 Ways to Win with People, John Maxwell. And the tagline is how to make people feel like $1 million. And it's about 2 hours and 40 minutes on audio. It's like a $5 download. And when I am in the car without my kids, because they wouldn't listen to it, I am listening to that audio, and I've listened to it over and over and over again. And every time I get something new from it. And it's such common sense things about how to connect with people and how to make other people feel special. And this isn't about us. This is about other people. This is about them. And that is what that book is about. And there's so many things that you're like, duh, yeah, of course. Why am I not doing that? That seems so simple. And yeah, sure, but you're not, and we forget. And so it's such a great, easy read. Again, it's audio for me, but you can, if you're more of a reader, then grab the book, but the audio is so wonderful. And it's so short, so you can get through it multiple times and each time pick up something new. So that's personal development. Always be working on some personal development. I don't know where you are kind of in your journeys, if you have teams or if you're just growing your team now, but Rhonda Shaw, she's a fairly new diamond. I was on a conference call with her recently, and she was talking about how her and her husband sat down and they're like, let's talk about priorities. Okay. So priorities in your life, maybe your faith, your family, friends, and Plexus, somewhere around there. Okay. But within Plexus, then you need to have priorities in your business. So she said, you know what? I need to, whenever I'm starting my work day with Plexus, whenever that is, I am not going to jump in to my emails. I'm not going to jump into the fighting fires and scrolling Facebook. I'm going to put the top priority things for my business first. And that's my personal development. So if it's 20 minutes of reading a book like this, and then it's my own income producing activity. So those things come first, then everything else is secondary to that. So key priorities within your Plexus business as well as your full personal life, what that looks like for you. Okay, so 7, it brings me to commitment. You know, some people get this backwards. They will think, and especially in the beginning, you may say, okay, I will commit when I see this work for me. But that's total opposite. You commit, then it works for you. The diamonds and the jewels at this company, they didn't just fall into this. They committed, and then the success happened. So don't get that backwards. Commit, be all in. Little story for you guys. I went to the mastermind event in November, and Chris Brady told a story about commitment, and it really stuck in my mind, and I want to tell you about it tonight. Now, I will probably butcher the story somewhat, but I think you may still get the point. He went swimming with a friend out in the ocean, and to set up this picture, there's like this peninsula type thing, okay? So they're on one side of this peninsula, I don't know. Anyways, yeah. And they want to dive through and swim through. There's like this swim through hole of this peninsula, and they were told about it. Hey, you can go see, and you know it's a very challenging swim through. But they're like, oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So they go, and the first friend dives down. They go check it out to see. Okay, all right, can we do this? They look through barely. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So they come back up for air, catch their breath, go back down. Or the first friend goes, actually. Chris doesn't go yet. So the first friend goes, and Chris kind of goes down there and watches him, go a little bit, and his flippers are flipping, bubbles. And he's getting a little nervous for his friend because he's like, oh my goodness, I got to get back up and get some air right now. And he's still got a long way to go. So he gets back up, waits for his friend to come up. His friend like gasps out on the other side, like, and catches air. Okay. So Chris is like, oh great. That probably about killed him. And now I have to do it. I cannot be the guy that doesn't do the swim through. I have to do the swim through. So he's like, all right, says a prayer, deep breath, and he goes down, and and by the way, the friend is like, don't do it. He's like, I got to do it. I can't be the guy. I got to do the swim through. So deep breath, swimming down, flip, bubbles. The coral reef is like tearing up his back. He's got blood, he's bleeding. It's painful. He's, not already running out of air. He's halfway through, and he's got to make it. And Obviously, he made it or he wouldn't be there to tell the story. But here's the point. He said, the hole was so small and narrow, I couldn't have turned around if I wanted to. There was no exit. If I was going to live, I had to swim through. I had to make it. In your business, the kind of commitment level you need is to have yourself a no exit strategy. I'm in this. There's no exit here. I don't have an excuse waiting for me for why I'm going to get out or why it didn't work. I'm in this until the end. I'm in this until I get to diamond. I'm in this till I get that goal of financial freedom. I'm in this till I satisfy that why for what I'm doing. So I love that whole story, that whole create yourself an artificial no exit in your business. That's the kind of commitment that it takes. And someone else said at that conference that so many people say only a few make it to the top of the network marketing companies. And they said, you know what, in relation to the masses, yes, maybe only a few make it, but a few only have the actual commitment it takes to get to the top. So take your commitment temperature, see where you are. Do you need to get recommitted? Do you need to create yourself a no exit strategy? Okay. The last thing that I want to talk about today for the basics is attitude. You cannot control your circumstances, but you can control your reaction to them. There will always be adversity in this business. We will always have challenges. In fact, we're going through them now with back office and shipping, and it's been hard. It's been really hard. I believe 100% that we're almost through that. Do I feel like this is the last time in our Plexus business we'll ever have some kind of adversity? No, we will have some kind of adversity again. But going through that, keeping a great attitude will make you a stronger person, a better leader, and your team will respect you for it. And they're going to follow your lead. I've seen the teams who have been really growing during this time, and they have something in common. They have a great posture of a great attitude. And it's been fun to watch them see the silver lining in it, then bond together and help figure it out. And let's share product, and let me help you, and you'll help me next time. And it's been amazing. But along with the attitude, I wanted to read and I don't know if you guys, I don't always read like introductions and forwards of books, but I did read this one. I read the forward, and it was written by one of Presley Swaggerty's friends, and he didn't know what to write about him. And he said, people ask me, why is Presley so successful? And he's writing about that, and he lists all these amazing qualities here that Presley has, that he's a hard worker, he's a good leader, he has commitment, he has the vision, diplomacy, compassion. I mean, all of these amazing characteristics. But he says, however, if I could pick only one thing that has made Presley Swaggerty successful, it would have to be his attitude. Your attitude is yours. You constantly choose whether you're going to control your thoughts and your attitude, or whether you will allow circumstances or someone else to control it. The great thing is that you get to decide. The coach, Presley, has control and mastery of his attitude. And that, I know I have to have an attitude check often. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is quite a little wake-up call, even for me sometimes, because sometimes my attitude really can stink. And we all have to remember that we can control only our attitude and our response to things that happens to us. So I want to close, and if we have time, if you have a few questions, maybe we can do that. I don't know, Rebecca, if you do, but I want to close with this quote by Jim Rohn. If you want more, you must become more. And then Presley has another book that says go or be and do more. So I challenge you to go and become more. That's all I have. I talk really fast.
No, you did great.
Okay.
You were perfect.
I don't know how long you have tonight, but I have a few more minutes if you guys want to.
Okay.
Ask questions or.
Let me, y'all, if you have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay, don't be shy. We have a diamond sapphire on the Zoom tonight.
I have a question.
Okay. That's Jennifer. Hi,
Okay.
Jennifer.
So my question is, hi. I've been expanding my network and meeting new people, and I have listened and heard how we need to, it's Super Saturday, I really heard it for the first time, that you really need to build these relationships over time and don't vomit Plexus on people. So I've been really trying to do that. But it's hard to really find the right time, because there's some thing in the back of my head that's like, oh my gosh, she's talking about exactly what's wrong with her that you can help her with. But it's the first time that we're talking, and she just happened to be telling me how her hormones are all out of whack and how she has her thyroid is all messed up and she has no energy and she needs to take a nap. And so I kind of tried to plant the seed a little bit. I asked her about her gut, and she was seeing a holistic health doctor, whatever. So I'm trying to plant the seeds, but how do you know when is the right time to bring it up? I've been kind of defaulting to friending them on Facebook and then having them just see that this is what my life is about. Is that like a cop-out?
No, I think you do that for sure. Absolutely. But I think that you take that scenario and you speak from your heart, and you might say, you know what? The last thing I want you to think is that I just want to sell you something. That's not what I'm about. But I hear you talking, and I think I have something that might be able to help. Could I send you some testimonies that I think that might encourage you, and see if you might want to give these products a try? I love to be able to say, because it's true. It's 100% true. This is kind of awkward for me. This is kind of unnatural for me to bring this up, but I really feel like I have something that could help you. If she brought all of that up to you right now, she's opening the door for you to meet that need. Just so happens that it happened on one of your first meetings, right? Mm-hmm. Normally, that's a conversation that might happen months down the road into the relationship, and you've built some of that trust, and then you feel okay about doing it. But if she started telling you all her health issues, I think you share.
Yeah. It might be she could be an oversharer, but I guess I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then I would also like now, if you didn't say anything in that time, really, I would go back. Now you're Facebook friends, you know how to get a hold of her. I would try to find those testimonies that are going to speak to her heart and say, you've been on my mind. I saw this testimony. I thought of you. I just wanted to put it out there. No pressure. I'm here to help if you're willing to take a chance on this.
Very good.
That's good. Thanks. Good. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Echo. Anybody else out there have a question? You do have feedback. Your phone? No, really?
Okay, I have another one.
Go for it.
I wrote them down during the call, so I would have them at the end. Okay, so here's a question for me. If your why, because my why has changed over time, but if my why is currently sort of about finances for our family, sometimes I just don't feel that seems like that it's about getting rich when it's not about getting rich. So how do you said something earlier in the call that was good about freedom for your family. And I like that. But when your why is financial, sometimes I don't like putting it out there because I feel weird.
Well, so don't say it that way. You can say my why is so that we have the freedom to go on vacations, to spend quality time together, to not work so hard and play more together, create memories, because all of that takes financial blessing, right? But why do you want that financial blessing? Do you want that financial blessing because you just want a lot of money and to hoard it and not do anything? No, you want it because of the lifestyle it can give you for your family. That's really the why. When you dig deeper.
That's true. But I know what you mean, because you don't want to feel like you're greedy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you also, your why, I mean, that can be a why that you don't have to tell everybody. I mean, that can be your own personal why that you don't necessarily share, but that could be what drives you.
Yes. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you, Jennifer. You're Jennifer had all the questions tonight. Everybody's being quiet.
I have one question.
Okay. Who's that?
Do you feel like self-development was always part of your success, or did that take a while for you to kind of get it? It seems like all of our teams have been talking a lot about, reading books and stretching yourself and all of that. Do you feel like you kind of did that from the beginning, or is that something that kind of clicked later?
A little of both. When I started, we didn't have all these YouTube training videos, Zooms. I don't think we had any. Maybe Sarah Marble had an opportunity meeting on YouTube out there. There was very little in regards to leadership training down to us. And so, a lot of it was kind of figured out along the way, but I think it was just sort of a little bit natural that, like, okay, I've got to get out of my comfort zone here. So some of that has been the personal growth, but the importance of personal growth and like who I am now as opposed to 4 years ago when I started this journey, it is a very different person. Like I said, it took me a little while to have that confidence and the boldness to share and to reach out to people. Because that was out of my comfort zone, but so a little bit of it happened on its own because it needed to happen, and I didn't understand what was really happening at the time. Now looking back, I can say that was a big personal growth journey for me. Now that I see that, like I said, personal network marketing is personal growth with the compensation plan. I see that now, but in the beginning, I just was like, whew, this is hard. This is hard. This is really stretching me. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
Right. So if you had like one thing, if you started over, is there anything you would do differently?
That's a good question. There's a lot that I would do differently, actually. I would lead better sooner. I feel like when I started, I'm kind of a self-motivated. I dive in. I figure things out for myself. I'm kind of just always been that way. I was very self-taught in the beginning. My sponsor started about 4 weeks before me, and she was really new. We had one team page, which was our resource, and so a lot of it was just very self-taught. I didn't even know that I should go buy a network marketing book and read so I could learn about what I was doing. That's how little I knew about what I was doing. But because I kind of did that, I sort of assumed that, everybody's going to be self-driven. Everybody's going to dive in on their own and figure this out. Everybody's going to go to their back office and click around and find things and go into the knowledge base and read and learn as much as they can. everybody's gonna go Google all the ingredients so they know about what the ingredients in their products are. Well, that's not the case.
Right.
So I wish I would have recognized that people I was bringing on needed some hand-holding and needed some teaching and some training and some coaching, and they weren't going to necessarily dive in like I did, that I needed to guide them and lead them along the way. I wish I had done that sooner. And I wish I would have understood the importance of leadership books, of John Maxwell's books. I would have given anything to have been introduced to John Maxwell a year earlier than I was. That would have been very helpful for me to be in a leadership role and be working on my own leadership skills. So those are two things right off the top of my head that I know I would have done differently. And I could probably give you a whole nother list as I think of the rest of the mistakes I made in the beginning, because I know there were tons.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? All right. I think we're going to let Jenn go. She is a new mama, and I think I hear the baby, but I'm not sure.
You hear her? Yeah, no.
I do. I hear her. Okay. I wish we could have seen her, but that's okay.
She's a mama's girl. Like as soon as I pick her up, she's not even hungry. She's like, okay, I'm good.
Well, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your wisdom and your willingness to come on and talk with us tonight and train us. We really do appreciate all your time.
Of course. I want to be watching your journeys. Raise the hands for who I can see. I can't see everyone, but who's coming to convention?
Oh, everybody.
Okay. Everybody I see almost. Okay. Yeah. So if I see you, if you see me, please come say hello. Say I was on Rebecca Rogers' call and say hello. I'd love to meet you. And if we have a moment, I'd love to hear a little bit of your story. So that would be.
We'll come find you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jenn.
Sounds good. Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.